Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of my 3-part video showing you my transition from using a controller to using a steering wheel and pedals. If you haven't seen part 1, be sure to go and check that out at the end of this video. But before I get underway, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you get notified when our new content is out. A quick recap if you're just joining us. Part 1 of this series, I was using a controller to find my fastest lap across 6 different cars at Brands Hatch, racking up no more than 10 laps. Part 2, I'll be doing the same test with the same cars, but with the steering wheel and pedals. And bear in mind, I've never used the steering wheel and pedals before, so this is about as raw as it gets. And part 3 of the videos, I'll be giving my conclusion of the transition. So first up we have the Nismo GT3, but before we get underway, let's have a look at the leaderboard for the controller. So we've got the Lotus, Ayrton Senna's Lotus in first, Mazda 787B second, McLaren F1 third, Monster Sport fourth, Ferrari F40, and then the Nissan GTR. So this is the first time I'm using steering wheel and pedals, and I have to admit, when I jumped into the seat and I started using this thing, I felt really uncomfortable. I've been using a controller for many years, and grabbing a steering wheel and a set of pedals, I must admit I felt uncomfortable, but when I look back at the video in comparison to using the controller, I do see that it's a whole lot smoother. I feel my lap time is probably going to correspond to the fact that this is the first time I've ever used the steering wheel and pedals, and we'll see that in a second when the leaderboard comes up. But what I will say is I think it was a hell of a lot more consistent across the board, as I do a 50.069. And just looking at the leaderboard there, I wasn't too far off the controller, bearing in mind it was the first time I'm using the steering wheel. A couple of tenths of a second there, but I do go slower than the controller on that occasion. Next up, Ferrari F40, and we'll just check the leaderboard to see what time I did with the controller. It was a 48.128. So let's see if I can beat that with the steering wheel. Again, looking at the times on the right hand side, a couple of consistent laps there in the 48s, but both of them disqualified. Still trying to get used to the controller and pedals at this point, and I feel over time it will get a lot more natural, but at the moment I'm still learning how to use it. I'm using everything on automatic at the minute because the thought of having to learn the paddle shifters as well as using the controller, I just don't think I'm going to be able to do that at the minute. So we crossed the line with a 48.543, and I think that's slower again. 48.543 compared to a 48.128. And next up is the 2011 Monster Sport 4-wheel drive Pikes Peak Special. I liked this car on the controller, and I think I started to get into using the steering wheel and pedals better with this car. I think, as I said, with time, the controller will become a lot more easy to use. But one thing that I say that the consistency, in fact you can see it here on the right hand side, the consistency that I'm finding with the steering wheel and pedals as I go on I'm able to lap within the same second. As you can see there, 45.108, 45.473, 45.208. And let's see if I keep it consistent or I jump into the 44s here as I cross the line. It's going to be another, well, yeah, 44.574. But I'm finding that consistency with the steering wheel and pedals is what I'm getting. As I go a full half, 6/10 of a second faster with that one. So that's the first time I've beaten the controller with a 44.574. As next up is the 787B stealth model Mazda. And just checking the leaderboard on this one for the controller. Where are you? Second, 40.639. Now this is another car that I absolutely loved when playing the GT6 game. What I need to do is learn how to play the game with all the settings off, because as you can see, the traction control is kicking in constantly. But what I'd like to do is take traction control off, ABS off, all the electronic functions that help you in the game, and see how well I can do. But we're right at the beginning of this journey, and I'm really looking forward to what's ahead as I cross the line and post a 40.867. Putting the Mazda up into second place, another 0.3 of a second off there, so it's 2-2 at the moment. 2 wins for the controller, which was the very first ones, and 2 wins for the steering wheel and pedals. Next up, the McLaren F1, which posted a time of 43.183 on the controller. So those of you that watched the first video, you'll recognise the consistency of me being inconsistent and getting my laps disqualified in this car. 4 of the 5 laps that I've currently done so far have been disqualified, and I think with the controller as well, I got a fair few laps disqualified. At least one thing's consistent over steering wheel and a controller, and that's the fact that I can't drive this car with both of them. I think with enough practice that will come, but it'd be interesting to see which one was faster. So I put in a time of 41.753. Going to the leaderboard, am I in front or behind? So that's 3, oh, by a way as well, 2 seconds. 2 seconds faster than the controller. So that's 3-2 to the steering wheel. And next up we have Ayrton Senna's Lotus F1 car. Another car that I really enjoyed driving throughout the game, which posted a 39.682 on the controller. Let's see what I can do with the steering wheel. So last one to go is Ayrton Senna's F1 car. Looking at the times on the right hand side, a couple of 39s, couple of 41s. So as I progress through, I'm noticing that I'm becoming more consistent, getting used to the steering wheel and pedals, enjoying it actually a lot more than the controller. Even driving 6 cars, as you see the cone on the left hand side there where I've obviously had an off somewhere. But let's see what we come across the line with. It's a 39.516. Which is the fastest lap across the 6 cars. Only a tenth faster than the controller, bringing the results in at 4 wins for the steering wheel and pedals and 2 wins for the controller. Guys, if you like this video and you wish to see more, please hit that subscribe button and bell notification to get notified of when I release more video content. Also, if you didn't get a chance to watch part 1 of this video, be sure to go and check that out now. I'll leave a link on the screen now. And thanks again for watching. Until the next one.